Hey everybody, it's Missy with the Shimmerz Education team bringing you another layout using lots of Shimmerz products. And I wanted to remind you that when you place an order for Shimmerz on the store website, if you mention my name in the Notes to Merchant section, then you can receive some free product, the color of your choice. So definitely remember to do that. So I'm going to start with some white cardstock today and this cute little picture of my daughter in the pool. And I'm also going to use one of the Pickpocket Stakz. And this is from the 3x4 set. And they are super, super cute. I'm going to take some of my Inklingz and Creameez and color this in. And it says, "Hey You." And I've chosen a couple different pinks and peachy orange colors, some yellow, and some green here, and I'm going to mix and match. Now, when I open this green one here, you can see that it's still wet, and the last time that I used it, I put the lid back on it and put it back in my little storage area, and it did not dry up. Sometimes if you use them and you put the lids right back on them, the paint will stay wet, and the longer it stays sealed up when it's wet, the thicker the paint is going to get. And that's not going to mess it up. It's just an observation that I've learned over time from using these. You can leave the lids off of them after you use them for a while and they will dry up. But all you have to do the next time is just to add water again and it will reactivate them. So you cannot ruin these paints. You can run out from using them too much, but whether you put the lids on right away or leave them off for weeks at a time, you're not going to ruin the paint. So just wanted to throw that out there while I was observing my different paints here. So I'm using a little teeny tiny brush, and this is very easy. This is not any high-tech technique here or something that is complicated. This is just sticking the paintbrush in the paint and coloring, and it is very therapeutic. And it's very fun. I really enjoyed doing this. I haven't really got into the coloring book craze yet. So this was a very good way for me to start doing that. And I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend these small stacks here if you wanted to give this a try, because they're not too big and they don't take that long to color. So I wanted to just play around here. I did not have an idea in mind yet. All I had was the picture that I wanted to scrap and my colors picked out. And so I just went for it. I colored some of the flowers this really pretty light orange color, and it's called Can't Elope, and it's an Inklingz. And then I'm coming in with two different shades of pink here. I've got Creameez Piggy Pink, which is that first pink that I used, and then this other pink is called Berry Hot, and it's also a Creameez. And if you remember, the Creameez dry with a satin finish and the Inklingz dry with a shimmery finish, and they are both watercolors, and they both, I can't pick a favorite. I love to layer them just like I'm doing here, and I'm just trying to experiment and get some different colors and shades going on in these flowers here. And I really enjoyed doing this. I just played around with it. It took me a while to get it just like I liked it, but in the grand scheme of things, it really didn't take that long. I love the shimmery effect I've already got going here. All right, so I'm going to bring in some yellow here, and this is also a Creameez, and it's called Daffodil, and it's a very pretty bright yellow. And I just added some to the bottom parts of the little petals there. Now this is one of my favorite greens, and it is just a beautiful bright green. It is an Inklingz, and it's called The Holly and the Ivy. I believe it is available in, well, you can also get it in a Christmas set. That's why it's got a Christmassy name. I'm going to come back with Berry Hot here. I forgot to color in one of those little petals here. And I'm loving how it's looking. I didn't do really any shading at all to the leaves. I just colored them flat green. And, you know, when you see the up-close shots at the end, you will notice that my painting skills are not perfect. I went outside the lines a little bit. Some of my colors blended together, but it still looks really, really cute, and I was very happy with how it turned out. And this is just a black marker. I'm going to color in the words, "Hey you," so they pop against all that color. And this is going to wind up being the title on my layout. So I'm going to add a little bit of a darker, bolder pink here. And this is a spray. This is Coloringz in Pink Stiletto. And I'm just going to dab some on to the petals here just to give a little bit of a richer pink shade. The Coloringz are flat sprays, so you're not going to get any shimmer with the Coloringz, but the colors are very bold and bright. So there's something for everybody in Shimmerz. I love the shimmer. Do you see how shiny and shimmery it is? I was getting very excited when I was making this. Every time I would pick it up and it would reflect in the light, I would get excited. So now I'm going to add in my favorite blue of all time is Vibez Jeni Bleu. And I'm going to paint the background this really pretty blue color. And I'm going to wind up mixing in some Ride the Tide, which is the blue Creameez right there. And I've said this a million times, but it's really fun to mix and match all of these different paints. No two colors are the same. And since the paints are totally different, you know, you've got spray, you've got watercolor, they just go together really well, and you're going to get different tones. All right, so the card's done pretty much, and now I'm going to work on my layout. So I wanted to try something different here. These scribbly circles are from the Silhouette store, and I've had them in my Cameo software library for a long time, and I cut these on some gray and white paper from Studio Calico. It's from the Wanderlust collection. And I'm going to try to use them as a stencil here first. And I'm going to pull out the Ride the Tide Creameez, and I just brushed some onto some plastic and smushed it over the die cuts. And it kind of did what I wanted it to do. I kind of got some of that scribbly, messy look there. And I'm just trying to add some color to my background first. I'm going to come over it with the Jeni Bleu and just spray it directly onto my paper. And I have not added any gesso to this cardstock, so this is just straight paint onto cardstock. And I'm going to do the smushing technique again. And this turned out, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought that, you know, all the liquid would probably run underneath this paper stencil here, but it wound up looking really cool, and I was very happy with how that looked because I love the watercolor look. I love that messy painted look on the background, and so I think I achieved that. So I still wanted to use these two die cuts here on my background, and I think they pick up the black and white in the picture. So that's how the basis of the design is going to look. I'm going to have those two scribbles there, and then I'm going to put my picture and the card side by side. And I've pulled out the original Maggie Holmes collection from a few years ago, and trying to use up some of my stash. And that collection is one of my favorites, and it's been on my shelf for a while. I have a lot of scraps of it left, and so that's what I'm going to try to use up here. Now I added some of that yellow pattern paper to give a little extra pop of yellow behind the card, and now I'm going to add in some tissue paper. Just because I love adding tissue paper. That's a scientific reason, right? So I'm going to glue down those die cuts, and now I'm going to come in with some gesso. And I just wanted to kind of fade out some of the gray in these circles. Not completely cover it up, but just kind of fade it out a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with some more shimmer stuff. And I didn't put too much gesso over the blue because I didn't want to cover up the shimmer. But I am going to use some of the yellow Coloringz, and this is called No Yoking. And I'm just going to do the packaging technique here. I did add a little bit of water just to make it smudge a little bit more. So back to the Berry Hot Creameez, and I just wanted to add some pink splatters. And it's something else you can do with your Shimmerz paints. Just depends on how much water you have on your brush, but they splatter very nicely. And this is the pink Stiletto again. And back to the Maggie Holmes paper. I'm sure you all remember that gorgeous floral paper. Well, I'm going to cut it up, and I'm going to use a couple of these big pink flowers as layers. And they're the perfect pink. They match that Piggy pink color to a T. And so this was the perfect collection to use up here. And I still have a lot left, and I am going to use it. That is one thing I do want to do this year, is use up more of my stash. There's the Piggy pink that I was talking about. It matches those flowers perfectly. I wanted to add a little bit more of that pink color to the background. And I have not used washi tape in a while. It seems like it. I can't remember the last time I used washi tape on a background like this. And so I went through my bin of tape, and I pulled out some yellow stripes and some gray stripes and some blue with little white polka dots. All colors that are already in the layout. And I just added a couple strips here and there. I like to tear it right off the roll just to make it kind of look uneven and messy. And then I'm going to come in with some thread, and I believe I used yellow. And I'm just going to tuck it back. And I've not glued down my pictures yet. This is still kind of, I'm just kind of experimenting to make sure everything fits where I want it. And now I'm going to glue it down. And I sped that part up quite a bit simply because this video was going to be very long, and I did a lot of stuff in this on this layout, and I had to cut out some things and speed some things up because I don't like my videos to be over 15 minutes. I try to make them, as short as I can. I did some stitching there and some yellow and some of the blue throughout the page and on the sides of things there. But I don't like my videos to be too long, so I try to keep what I need to keep in there and cut out what, isn't that important. But this one had a lot going on, so it's all but 15 minutes. All right, so I pulled out some ephemera from the Carpe Diem Simple Stories sticker and ephemera pack, and then some flare buttons from a Flare for Buttons, and they matched perfectly. I added that little chevron there to the right, and I did some more stitching there. That's what I'm pointing out. And I'm going to add that little gray one with the white clouds up at the top, because that Dream Big piece is a cloud. And so I thought, well, this kind of goes because it's got clouds on it. And so I'm going to add that up there at the top. And I pulled out some stamps from my stash, and these are some Ellie's Studio stamps, and this is just a cute little open label stamp, and I'm going to put my date in there. And then a little love this sentiment. And then I'm going to add a sticker from this sticker pack from Me and My Big Ideas. It's a pack full of black stickers on, they're clear, but they're black. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add some black color shine. And I believe that is going to wrap it up. I did add some journaling there at the bottom, but that's the final page. I had lots of fun making this. Please let me know if you have any questions about the Shimmerz Stakz, any of the Shimmerz products that I use. I'm going to include a list of all of the colors and names of all of the paints that I used down below. So check that out if you want to know specific colors. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.